Test. Test, test, test. Awesome. Test, 1, 2, test, test. We'll get it figured out. Awesome, thank you guys so much for the invite back. And test, 1, 2, test, test. Well, I sure do appreciate the invite back. I'll be honest with you. We've got 3 girls at home. We've got sheep to take care of. I've got a full-time job, and I don't go out and judge tons and tons of shows. I get some requests, but a lot of times the dates don't work, the times don't work. Invite, and you said I do a good job. We'll see about that. I don't know, but I sure do appreciate it. Very, very positive experience for me last year, and I'm sure it'll be great this year. We start the show off with a very nice Duroc gilt, and the young lady does a good job with one that's just really hard for me to pick a hole in, and that's not a cop-out as a description. That's just how I read her. Is she wide enough? Absolutely. She comes at you bold through her chest and big from behind. She's got enough rib shape and body for me. I think she's sound enough as well. She's set back good in her shoulders. She's got some set to her hock and angulation to her hind end. I think one that gets out and moves and handles herself very well. We'll break them down a little more in the championship drive because I know there'll be some good competition, but I read this one with good growth, good flexibility and extension, maternal and functional, just a very nice single entry to win our Duroc breed. Let's give this young lady a round of applause, please.
Champion Duroc gilt is Marcy Miller. We are now ready for Hampshire class. This was a single entry in this class. Class 2 January Hampshire gilts. Into the holding area at this time, we need Hallie Miller, Michaela Madison, and Krista Perry with your Class 3 February Hampshire gilts. Hallie Miller, Michaela Madison, and Krista Perry.
Another nice single entry. We'll have some more competition for her in the Champion Hamp Drive. We could break her down a little more there, but out here as an individual, I see her as a big extended type of a gilt that's got some growth. I see a Hampshire gilt that has some heaviness of structure. I think she's, but when she comes at you and goes away, we can maybe just square her up and widen her up ever so slightly. But from the side, you like her extension, you like her femininity. She's long in terms of her spine and level out of her hip. Got some body and rig to her as well. Let's give this young lady a round of applause. We'll bring her back out here in a minute.
Champion Class 2 Hampshire gilt is Michaela Madison. Hampshire gilts. Poland gilts, Michaela Madison with your single entry, and a January Poland gilt needs to be making your way to the holding area at this time. Class 2 Poland to the holding area at this time. In the ring at this time is Class 3 February Hampshire gilts. Hallie Miller, Michaela Madison, and Krista Perry.
honest with you, this is a very challenging class for me because there are three that are cut from kind of different molds, and you've got big time differences in terms of not only size but just type and kind. And you know, I like hogs that have a little more look and grow, but I want hogs to still be stout and opened up. And you've got a couple in here that are a little stouter and more opened up, and then you've got one that's got a little more growth and just gets a little frailer featured and a little flatter and harder. So it's tough, and I don't think there's necessarily a right answer in here. So you're going to hear me the next couple days. They're going to hear me tell you in certain classes that I think it needs to go this way. I think there's only one way to place it, and I think there's other classes where I'm going to be open up and tell you that, hey, I'm just going to describe the hogs, I'm going to place them, but I don't know that there's a right or wrong answer. Today I'm going to use the young lady right here in front of me going across the middle of the ring. And to me, she's just kind of the combination hog. She offers more growth, more extension. I think she's more acceptable in terms of her size. She's still opened up, she's still powerful, she's still got some dimension. I think one that is opened up in her blade, I think she's the most genuine at the ground when we study her true base width. She's bold in her blade, she's bold in her rib. We could redesign, her top line isn't perfectly level, and we could just redesign her hock ever so slightly, but she's the one that I think is just the most fundamental in terms of being opened up, having some rib, having some dimension to her, still being acceptable on her feet and legs. The young lady here is going to be second, and I know that the little gilt looks the most like our class winner. We'll talk about her in a minute, but the young lady coming across the ring is going to be second. First of all, really good showman, gets the most out of that gilt. I know this isn't showmanship, but it's nice to see a hog when she gets her head up, levels out, struts across the ring. I think that certainly does her justice. She just needs more to her. She needs more ribs, she needs more body today. She's a little fragile in terms of her features and comes at you a little narrower through her chest. I think structurally she's acceptable. I think she's functional enough. We just need more of her. We need more chest, we need more bone, we need more body and rib through that center portion of her. The young gilt, I like things about her. I like her balance, I like her design. I think she's pretty level in her top and square out of her hip. Again, no major structure issues. I'm not crazy about growth. I'm not worried, super worried about weight per day of age or anything like that. But for a February, I'd sure like to see a little more size in this gilt. She's pretty small for her age. She wants to get a little bit narrower at the ground. Now, in terms of rib, body, just design, probably as good as anything in the class. I just wish we could, if she was a March or an April, maybe we could say some things. But on February, I'd just like to see a little more size and a little more grow in her. Very challenging class, very interesting class. Let's give those kids a round of applause, please.
Results of class.
The differences I see out here in this Champion Hampshire Drive, and I'm not going to tell you any of them are perfect or ideal. We've got different shapes and sizes out here. But that gilt that comes out of the biggest class, I like the most just in terms of body and rib and having a good level design to her. When she comes at me and goes away, I just wish there was a little more squareness and width in her. I'd like to redesign her hind leg. The view from she gives you from the side is good, but that view from behind and coming at you, we'd like to change. And then we just talked about those two younger gilts. They look absolutely nothing alike, but I think they bring forth some positive things as well. The gilt that wins that particular class, she needs to be a little bigger, needs to be a little more extended. We could redesign her out of her hip, but I thought she was stout at the ground, pretty square in her build, bold and dimensional, and kind of a completer type of a hog in that particular class. And then the gilt was second to her, looks nothing like her. She's bigger, she's more extended, but she's an up-headed, good design gilt that's square enough off both ends. And I think when we compare her to the biggest gilt, I like her just a little more. When she comes at me and goes away, I think there's a little more thickness and squareness there. So lots of different types and kinds. For Champion and Reserve, we're going to go off the two younger gilts, Champion here, Reserve over there. Good job, ladies. Let's give them a hand, please.
Our grand champion